Hello, friends. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Michelle Fondin. I'm an author and speaker, and welcome to the very first Empowered Divine Feminine vlog. I was doing a twin flame vlog, and now that my channel is transitioning to the Empowered Divine Feminine, as you may have seen, this is my first Empowered Divine Feminine vlog, which I will be doing regularly. And Merry Christmas to all of my people that celebrate Christmas. Happy holidays to those who don't celebrate Christmas. And I want to welcome you back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. And the topic for today is His Unconditional Love is Enough. And we will talk more about that. First, I don't have Grogu with me. I've got a Disney World. I believe this is Disney World. I have a Disney World mug with Tecasino tea, I believe it's called. It's dandelion caramel nut. It is very delicious. So I will take a sip here. Super duper hot. So let's go ahead and get started talking about the Empowered Divine Feminine, as this is the first vlog. And the topic, His Unconditional Love is Enough. I hope you guys are having a wonderful and marvelous holiday season. And I'm just hoping that the end of this year is going to be phenomenal for you, your family, your loved ones. And I'm wishing you all the best for the new year, which we will certainly get more videos in the new year for 2023. So why did this topic come to me? His unconditional love is enough. As I mentioned in the last vlog I did, the last twin flame story week by week I did, and I'll put that link right here so you can view it. It was a while ago. It was probably 5 or 6 weeks ago when I did that. And I mentioned that the channel was changing, transitioning to the topic of the Empowered Divine Feminine. I mentioned that the reason why I wanted to do this was because I was not feeling good about it. I wasn't feeling good about the direction of the channel. I wasn't feeling good about the direction of most twin flame channels, and they're all focusing on divine masculine. They're all focusing on what is the divine masculine thinking, doing, seeing, being, all of that. What does he think of me? How is he feeling about me? Constantly. And that is not healthy. That's not a healthy way to go about your twin flame journey. And honestly, it's not a healthy way to go about life. Wondering what other people are doing, what other people are thinking, what other people are being, what are their thoughts of you, what is their opinion of you, what are their feelings of you? Just not a healthy way. So it really wasn't sitting well with me. And while I don't want to change the channel drastically, because that's going to come as a shock to so many of you who really count on those divine masculine messages. And it's not that it's bad, it's that the area of focus is going in the wrong direction. Directionally, you want to be headed toward empowering yourself as a divine feminine and letting divine masculine be who they will be, and for them to find their own unique path. And so when we are constantly obsessed and focused on the divine masculine and what they're thinking or feeling all the time, it's displacement. We're placing that focus on them and the importance of their opinion of you, rather than placing the focus on you and your opinion of you. I lived this for so many years, not so much with my divine masculine, which of course that did matter to me for quite some time, but it was because I was coming out of a relationship with an alcoholic. And I know many of you have alcoholics in your life. Many of you have addicts in your life. I'm going to post how to get through the holidays with an addict here, just because I feel like that's really close to my heart. I don't talk a lot about it on this channel much more. I used to in the past, but I was coming out of a very codependent relationship with an alcoholic when I met my twin flame. And in fact, there was a lot of enmeshment because that person who was a soulmate was still in my life, even though I had just moved over 3,000 miles away, or around 3,000 miles away, to California. But that person was still a presence in my life. And my focus for that entire 5.5 years that I was with him was on him. That was my entire focus. And anyone in recovery groups will tell you that that is the wrong direction. You should never be focused on the other person. Now, of course, if you're working on a relationship and working on improving a relationship, yes, sometimes you need to place the focus on the other person, but that's more for conflict resolution. That's more for coming to a central ground with somebody else. That's more for compromise, listening to the other person, honoring that other person's feelings, But it's never about what they are thinking or feeling about you as a measure to how you think and feel about yourself or the relationship itself. So the problem is that when we really focus and concentrate on the other person so much, that becomes this sense of codependency, enmeshment, and it is so incredibly unhealthy. So what I am going to try to do as I begin this shift in this channel is to shift the focus so that it is more on helping the feminine, the divine feminine, become empowered. And more particularly, it's for women, because women have had a hard time throughout the beginning of time, the beginning of recorded history, the history that we know as recorded history. We've had a difficult time having our own identity and our own inner power separate from the masculine world. So that is my wish, that is my direction, and that's where I'm taking you guys from this point forward on this YouTube channel. So how did it come to me? His unconditional love is enough. Now, if you didn't notice in the title, the his is referring to God. It's not referring to your divine masculine, because I put it in all caps to show you that. And it came to me because I had a conversation earlier this week in which a twin flame had said to me, I've come to the end of the rope. I've come to the end of my spiritual work, or being able to develop and grow the spiritual work that I intend to do on this planet, because I'm not with my twin flame and I don't have my twin flame with me. And so I don't have an expression of unconditional love so that we can work together to help spread unconditional love on the planet. And when this person said this to me, it didn't sit right. I said nothing, but it didn't sit right because I know that's not true. While it's true that in relationships, we need to grow with other people, you can only grow so much on your own. And when you're sitting in isolation all by yourself and you're going, I'm a pretty good person, you pat yourself on the back. I've done my work. I'm pretty good now. But it's when we encounter other people who poke us, push us, prod us, who push our buttons, like in the holiday season, right? People will push your buttons during the holidays, won't they? Your family members will push your buttons. Your kids will push your buttons. Your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your sisters, your brothers will push your buttons. And that's when you know how much you've grown, is how you react, how you respond to other people coming in and poking you, coming in and challenging you, coming in and showing you where you still have some weakness, or you don't have self-mastery, or you're not owning your inner power. And that's when the fun begins, actually, right? Because you're like, whoa, I thought I had it all together. And then all these people come in and they challenge me and I realize I don't have it all together. So that's completely the truth. There is truth to that. However, let's go back to this concept of unconditional love. We all know that humans are imperfect beings. We all know that human love is never perfect. We can love somebody unconditionally. We can feel the unconditional love for a person, a human being, but that love that we express from them or to them or we get from them is never going to be perfect. The only perfect love is that of your creator. The only perfect love comes from God. Now, I know some of you are going to feel challenged when I say something like this. And I'm only speaking from direct experience from God. I've had so many direct experiences of feeling like nothing, of feeling like I had no hope, feeling like my life couldn't go on. And it was only God that showed me his perfect love that allowed me to move forward. Now, let me ask you this question. Have you ever had an experience in your life where you knew it was only God's perfect unconditional love that was showing you the way? Have you ever had that moment? I know I have several times, not only one time. This has happened many times over the course of my life when everything was stripped away from me when everything was taken from me and all that was left was God's love. All that was left was God's love because human love was so imperfect. And it was at those moments that I knew that I could only rely on God for his unconditional love, for his perfect love. Now, many of you who are on the twin flame journey and who have met your twin flame, you have felt the unconditional love emanating not only from your twin flame, but you have felt that unconditional love flowing towards your twin flame. And that is why we become so addicted, so obsessed with our twin flame, because most of us who have not taken the time to notice God's perfect love felt that through your twin flame. And when you felt it through your twin flame, you became addicted to it because it felt unconditional. It felt like nothing you had ever experienced before because human love is imperfect. And even though you experienced those momentary pieces of time, those momentary sections in your life where you felt this unconditional love to or from your twin flame, it didn't last. It didn't last. Something kicked in. Your twin flame ran away, or you got angry and upset, even though you felt the unconditional love for your twin. You had very human feelings that kicked in shortly thereafter. And so when we sit on the sidelines and we say in this life, until I get back together with my twin flame, until I'm in communication with my twin flame, until I experience the unconditional love of my twin flame, I cannot articulate unconditional love to anyone else on this planet. And just know that God's unconditional love is always there for you to access, always there. God's love never fails. God's love is always there for you to access. You only have to get quiet. You have to look for the miracles. You have to look for the wonder and awe. You have to get silent enough so that God can speak to you and you can feel the oneness with God. And that can never be taken away from you by any other human being. So in this Christmas season and throughout this year, or whenever you find this video, make sure you don't lose sight of that this is not about reliance on another human being for your eternal happiness. This is not reliance on another human being, even your twin flame, to experience what unconditional love means. God is a perfect and unfailing example of unconditional love that you can access at any moment. There's this kitschy phrase that says, Jesus is the reason for the season. And I say that a little tongue in cheek. I am Christian. I do believe in God, the Father. I believe in Jesus, the Son. I know that if you followed me for any amount of time, you know this about me. We say those phrases as a cliche. We say those phrases to be a little bit tongue in cheek, if you will. I know it started off that people wanted it to be serious and now people don't really take it seriously. But if you think about it, the reminder of God's perfect love for us by giving us life, by giving us a piece of himself in spirit, by giving us the free will choices to do what we want, by giving us free will to be in a relationship with him or to not be in a relationship with him and still remain in unconditional love for us, that is the greatest gift. That is the greatest demonstration of unconditional love that we have received. And so if you can't mimic that in your twin flame journey, then you're not practicing unconditional love. So if you say to your twin flame, I'll only be happy with you if you are with me in communication with me, in a relationship with me, then you're not mimicking what God gave you. God gave you free will. God gave you unconditional love with without any payback. You don't have to pay him back. He gave you life. You don't have to pay him back. He gave you free will. You don't have to pay him back. And so when we question unconditional love, when we question it, we're forgetting the source of unconditional love. So I just wanted to remind you of the source of unconditional love this time around. I wanted to remind you that unconditional love is here always, twin flame or no twin flame, and that you have the power within you to access it at any time. So I wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and much, much, much love coming from me. I'm wishing you all the best. And I want to thank you so much for supporting this channel, for joining me, for doing all you do to make sure that I can bring this message to you and others. I really appreciate you. Thank you for subscribing to my channel below. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up. You know how to support my YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video.